So unless you've been living under a rock for the last 72 hours, you will know that YouTube are lowering the monetization requirements. 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, or 3 million shorts views. All fantastic news, right? With a dose of skepticism from me. Because this new tier of monetization does not include ad revenue, which is why I've dubbed it the YPP Lite Edition. I thought this would infuriate creators and feel like a bait and switch from YouTube. But it turns out, and I am delighted to say this, I was completely wrong. The vast majority of the vidIQ Nation say that these changes to monetization are good. More than 80% of you, in fact. And when it comes to YouTube announcements, this is the complete opposite of what we would usually expect, if anybody can think back to abbreviated subcounts and removing the dislike button. And when it comes to the personal opinions and thoughts of the individual creator, all of this feels even more encouraging. At the very least, it feels like a new sense of motivation for creators who've been on the platform for years and been struggling towards the old requirements: 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and 10 million YouTube Shorts views. For every single creator on the platform, it is a fresh, new, more attainable goal. And given the seemingly self-implosion of Twitch, this is perfect timing. Somewhat suspicious timing from YouTube. Many creators are saying this is a move designed to bring more streamers to YouTube from rival platforms. These types of creators benefit much more from interactive monetization opportunities, such as super thanks and memberships, than they do from passive ad revenue. So strategically speaking, Twitch's monumental loss is YouTube's palpable gain. Well played, YouTube. Well played. We see what you did there. But yeah, let's get back to that sizable elephant in the room. No ad revenue at this new monetization level. Will it come as a surprise to creators when they're accepted into the YouTube Partner Program and they cannot flick a switch on their content to make dollars from views? That remains to be seen. And it does raise a question again of a partial monetization scheme. The idea behind this is that your content would be monetized, but you wouldn't get your usual ad revenue cut. For example, on long form content, you as a creator get 55% of the ad revenue cut, but as an introductory offer, you could get, say, 25%. This is a particularly interesting approach, given that YouTube now will monetize videos on creators' content when they are not in the YouTube Partner Program. And some creators do suspect that YouTube may monetize the content on those channels in the lower tier of YPP before the creators can start to enjoy the ad revenue themselves. That, of course, remains to be seen. So it was a potential option, but YouTube have decided not to go down that route. Fair enough. So with this new YPP tier, you can't monetize your content, but you can monetize your audience. And this is what Viper had to say in a recent live stream on the subject.
Some of you all were disappointed because you don't have access to ad revenue. When you first get monetized and get ad revenue as a small creator, you get pennies. You don't make much money, if any. So the announcement that came out yesterday, giving you all access to fan funding, is much more important and will make you much more money than any ad revenue will make at your size channel if you're 1,000 subscribers or less, or even 10,000 subscribers or less.
You can catch Viper on the weekly Tube Talk podcast, link in the description just below the like button. Now I, and some of the comments, don't 100% agree with Viper. Should you be monetizing your audience at such an early stage in your YouTube journey? Have you had time to build up trust, credibility, really get a strong bond that persuades your audience to part with money for your benefit? I think it comes down to opinions and experience at this point, because I've never tried to monetize a channel of under 1,000 subscribers. But here's where Viper and I 100% agree with how you should treat your audience, monetization or not.
If you want people to start funding you, it's just like growing a YouTube channel. Provide value. If you provide value, they will want to fund you because they will feel like your time and your information is worth paying for. I heard Jeff talk about how him and Travis, when people do super chat them, they have celebrations, like they play music or something, or they do a little super chat ritual when people give them money, just something to make the people feel appreciative of the fact that they gave out money to them during super chat. So just make your audience feel valued, and I think that's the start of how you get funded.
Learning with Landon had a really interesting take on this, almost as if YouTube is subconsciously trying to push the creator in a new, better direction for the long-term sustainability of the channel. If we cannot monetize our content, but only our audience, then YouTube is indirectly helping smaller channels to remember to focus on their audience first and statistics second. And it's true, at the end of the day, YouTube is always about audience. I also thought that Nate from Channel Maker's approach was really interesting. The concept of championing the small creator.
The big unfair advantage I see smaller channels having here is the small channel appeal. Because what YouTube has done is they've made it easier for you to tell your audience, hey, I'm a small channel. Thank you so much for watching this content. And if you want a way to say thank you to me, if you just wouldn't mind sending me a super thanks, that would be huge for me. Because what this is leading into is a massive advantage if you create a tribe earlier on with your audience. The point I am seeing here is there's going to be a shift more towards audience first and super fans, so to speak, first channels that start off that way versus views-centric channels.
And that's what most small creators want, right? The feeling of their voice actually being heard on YouTube, so that they are discoverable. And if you do want to add another YouTube educator to your resources, Nate is awesome. Visit his channel and make sure to give him a boop from vidIQ. He'll really appreciate that. Now, there were a few interesting questions that came up, notably the new requirement of 3 video uploads over the last 90 days. Does that mean once you're in the YouTube Partner Program, you need to continue to upload consistently? Well, I should be able to answer that very soon for you because I've posted a single video on my personal channel in 5 years. I'm curious to know what's going to happen there. Does it automatically move you from the lower tier of monetization to the ad revenue tier once you meet the requirements? My assumption would be almost instantly. It's not going to be by the second, but probably a couple of days after you reach 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers, you'll get a notification in the YouTube Studio telling you to start turning on monetization on your content. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if every single creator who isn't yet in the YouTube Partner Program doesn't start to receive notifications about this in the YouTube Studio in the weeks and months to come. I'll tell you what I have seen that's pretty cool about this, even before these recent updates were announced. The majority of hardworking, committed creators already thought the monetization requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours were fair. I see this comment time and time again where the creator is saying reaching the classic requirements is a huge sense of achievement and a worthy reward. So for them, these new requirements are simply a bonus to get you started. And now it's your turn. How do you feel about the new monetization requirements on YouTube? Let us know in the comments below. And just 1 second. You gotta love those 8-minute videos, right?